India. The worst and most depressing period of India in the fields of religion, morality, social and politics is the period that started at the turn of the 6th century AD. The indecency spread everywhere, even in the temples. Because indecency was sanctified, the value and protection of women was gone. The custom of cremating the woman whose husband had died was common. The great inequality between the strata of the people was different from that in other world states. This was subject to civil, political and religious law. Indian legislators of religious character had enacted this law. The law thus became the general foresight of society and the constitution of their lives. India was going through a process of disintegration and fragmentation. The Emirates spread, among which devastating wars broke out. He stayed away from the events in the world in open seclusion. In matters of tradition, inequality between classes, fanaticism of blood and lineage, extremism prevailed. An Indian historian, who is a history teacher at a university in India, describes the era before Islam entered India as follows: Indians were a nation detached from the world, self-conscious and completely unaware of what was going on in the world. This ignorance weakened their stance towards events. They became dull. Signs of collapse and decline began to appear everywhere. Literature at that time was soulless. The situation was the same in architecture, painting and other fine arts. In Indian society, there was great inequality between classes and shameful discrimination between families. They did not allow widows to marry. They were putting pressure on themselves about food and drink. As for the neglected and dismissed poor, they too were forced to live outside of their homeland and civilization. The people of India were divided into 4 classes: 1 priest and clergy class, Brahmi; 2 combat and military class, Kshatri; 3 farmers and traders class, Vis; 4 servicemen class, Shooter. The Shooter class was the most despicable of the classes. Because, according to their beliefs, the creator of the universe had created them from his own feet. They were of no value other than to serve and comfort the other 3 classes. The law of classes gave the Brahmis a high rank and position that no one could share with them. Even if a person belonging to the Brahmi class destroyed all 3 classes with his sins and deeds, his sins were forgiven. It was not permissible to collect taxes from him. In no case could they be punished by death. Shooter class, they had no right to acquire property, to amass wealth, and to sit with the Brahmis, or touch them with their hands, or learn the scriptures.